grab a drink and relax, hydrate, because we're talking about the stock market. What a crazy day it was today. Stock market went up a ton of points. I'll be able to simulate the Dow's numbers in here eventually when I get all the different companies categorized. As for right now, amazing stuff I want to talk about. I have a stock of the day. I'll tell you why I have a stock of the day. It's pretty interesting. We'll talk about that a few minutes in, but let's just talk about the winners and the losers first, and then we'll get there. So April 29th, highly volatile day. Things went up a lot. SM Energy Corp, I guess, according to this file of the not complete list, but a large list of companies on the New York Stock Exchange and the NASDAQ. We have a lot of companies on here, and SM Energy Corp is the winner, an oil company. Oil, gas, consumables company. Well, there's a lot of oil, energy, oil, gas, consumable fuels. You'll see a lot of these popping up in the highest winners because they're fluctuating so much. What you can do is you can grab the top 10 ticker symbols and go over to this top 10 sheet, and we can talk about the top 10 stocks of the day, and then look at all types of different stocks in here. And we're going to get a little line chart over the last however many days we want to look at. In this case, we're looking at like 3/4 of a year or 2/3 of a year at least. Like you're looking at about 2/3, right? So you're looking at the last 220 days. You can go back to look at more just like the year, and this will change. And we get to see what type of cap sizes these companies are, and the market size, the amount that was traded today. You can see that SM Energy, if I get my face out of there, you'll see that SM Energy traded 38% of their stock was traded. What a crazy highly volatile day. You can see that actually shows how much activity they had. There's a reason why they went up. I'm sure that's going to go crazy and probably going to go down in the future because that's just nuttiness, right? But they're a small cap at $373 million. So anyway, so as you get a look at all this, you can see a lot of these companies had gone down. A lot of these are small and micro caps, which means inherently risky in a lot of ways. Is there anything of real interest in here? I didn't have any notes on any of these because they're so small. Derivative of oil industry is bad. So here's something I thought was bad that went up. Ion Geophysical Corporation. A lot of the stuff that looks like it's going to rebound is popping up right now. I think it's going to be short-lived because life's not going to totally go back to normal. This new way of social distancing or whatever, and not traveling as much, like sitting on planes next to people for long periods of time, going with your whole family on a vacation where you're going to be in a situation like that. Are you going to go vacation with masks and stuff? Sort of, but we're not ready for all that yet, and there's months of us still not doing that, even as we go over cures and treatments, which I'm going to talk about next. So there wasn't really much of interest in the top 10, I would say, of the winners of the day. The top 10 or the bottom 10 losers of the day I really want to talk about, because this is where you get to see interest in transition in the economy and things that are happening fast and how it's affecting companies in a day-to-day basis. So boom, who's the biggest loser of the day? Is Hertz. So what I said about travel, I think does extend, because even when we have a cure and have a treatment option and know that if we contract it, I can take something and I'm probably not going to have symptoms, I'm probably not going to suffer death, any tissue damage that I might incur can be mitigated and hopefully healed. Once that's available, you're still going to be hesitant to go out until everyone's like vaccinated and people aren't contracting and stuff, because it still causes different types of damage. It causes strokes in people. It's a blood type disorder. There's a doctor, Serhoot, I believe it is, Medcram is the YouTube channel. He did a video recently about, I know we're going from Hertz to just straight to biotech because I want to talk about something. I'm going to talk about Merck in this video, okay? Dr. Serhoot, I believe, on Medcram talked about how there are drugs that are already on the market that have certain shapes. And these certain shapes could potentially disrupt or bond with the virus as it circulates through your system. The virus has different tentacles and different shapes on it that latch on to the part of your cell called the ACE2 that causes a lot of problems, or derivative of a problem with this virus. Well, accidentally, people taking heartburn medication take different types of heartburn medication in China, and somebody who went over there and read a bunch of medical charts of the cases that happened, of people who survived and people who didn't survive, and just did their own tally of numbers and took a look at which heartburn medication they were taking, whether they're taking Pepcid, which is a Merck product, or talk about Merck, or a different one, or maybe like a more expensive one, even like a different heartburn medication. It found that not statistically significant, but still looked like it on the numbers when you looked at the number of cases. People that were on the Pepcid survived more, like a 3-to-2 ratio, over people who weren't taking the Pepcid. Well, that alone is not enough science to say that Pepcid is going to prevent you, or start to sweep up the virus and clean it up out of your system just by taking it. Nor should it, right? It's heartburn medication. We would have figured this out already if that was just the case. But apparently, there's a classified project called Domain, DOMANE, that looks at molecular size structures like viruses, and then looks at the list of available drugs that are like approved by the FDA, and are for use in America or the world. I don't even know how big this database is. There's a project of people who do this and look through existing medications to see, are there any weird shaped fixes where, like, here we have the virus. Does this drug Pepcid latch onto anything or disrupt something in the viral cell, or disrupt the way it multiplies, or yada yada yada? Million things. A lot of things like hydrochloroquine could potentially impact the cell, but I don't think it does. I think, or anyway, I'll get off hydrochloroquine because it doesn't look like it works. But Pepcid potentially is like one of the top 3 drugs that is readily available and out and was looked at by this Domain project. Pepcid was one of 3, I believe, top 3 that has a shape that accidentally bonds to something on the virus, or some gene or some action of the virus that stops the virus, or bonds it or inhibits its ability to bond with our ACE2 cells that are causing the problem. So what this means is that there's a freaking project of people that do molecular Legos, and we don't know about it because it's a biological weapons issue. It makes sense. There should be. It should be in good hands. Point is, Pepcid's one of these 3 that apparently accidentally mops up the virus. Accidentally, but does mop up the virus, or at least one of the 3 best candidates of things that are already approved that this Domain project has looked at. That, to me, says that, and they're doing tests on it now to shoot it into your blood like heroin, so you end up taking Pepcid heroin. Do not do this at home, please, people. Do not overtake Pepcid either. Let's wait for the science. Your doctor will be able to prescribe some type of Pepcid for you that may mop up the virus as a short-term antibody if it really does do that and doesn't have harmful impacts on the human body. We might be doing that. It's not out of the realm of possibility if this really does work, because the problem is getting a molecular shape that actually bonds to the virus but doesn't bond to other things in your system to cause problems. President, the reason why we don't ingest Clorox is because Clorox changes the pH in all of our frickin' cells and kills everything, including the virus. So yeah, it's great that we got the virus that we just drank, but we also destroyed our stomach and our lungs and our liver in the process. Okay, I understand you were thinking out loud, being like, isn't there a way we could like shoot up, bleach? And the answer is, yeah, it will do bad things to a lot of your body. Anyway, it looks like Pepcid kind of accidentally is helpful. And we're going to find out within a couple weeks from the tests that they're doing, where they're injecting like a lot more Pepcid than you would normally take into people's veins that maybe have serious problems, and seeing what happens. There's a more complicated problem to treatment in the end stages of this disease when it really takes over, which is even the virus might be gone from your system, and your immune system has overreacted and you're dying from a pollution of your body, killing a lot of cells in your system. Maybe there isn't much virus left or causing any more damage. It's already gone. So giving Pepcid at that stage probably wouldn't help at all, other than whatever Pepcid helps with heartburn-wise. So, but I think a lot of us want an early stage, can I take something that might sweep up a little more of the virus so I can be extra healthy and not have a high inoculum load in my system to let my immune system solve the problem? And I, when I heard that they were one of top 3 in a classified project that bonds to the virus, I thought, wow. Because it takes a while to go through every drug to figure out what it bonds to. So they didn't know that until just recently, I'm sure, the last few months. So I think Merck can go to 100. I mean, if it really does slow it down and mop it up, they own the patent on famotidine or whatever is the name of Pepsid's actual name. Don't quote me on that. Look it up. But Merck owns it, and figure out who the other 2 potential drug candidates are that had a similar molecular bond to the virus, and you got 2 other stocks that you want to load up on right now. Assuming that their side effects aren't bad. I don't know what they are. You'd have to ask the classified project. It's hilarious. All right, so let's talk about, so that's why Merck is my stock of the day. I wanted to talk more about the losers, because even if Pepsid helps, even if that's the case, we still don't want to go out and be reckless and be stupid. Some people do, but some people don't. Like, I think that I think that a lot of industries are going to dissolve entirely that were close physical contact industries, and that means that, or there's weird precautions or something. I don't know, but it's not going to look like it did before. And so people who think that we're rushing back into something, that's going to change because it's going to spread and we're going to see the consequences and we're going to get fearful again and really limit the way that we interact. So what do you see on top of all these losers here? You see oil, energy, oil. There was a couple oil that actually went off. There was one oil that went off the list and changed its name, DO, like drill oil something, changed its stock symbol or whatever. There's a lot of restructuring going on here. This smells ugly, like there's not a demand, right? Because the virus keeps us not as active. You can't possibly be using as much gas and oil related products now. You're not flying as much. Now you're not. Think about it. Are you really going to fly with your infant child somewhere knowing that there could be someone coughing on a plane and people don't have to wear masks? Heck no. I just think there are too many nervous folks that used to go on cruises, and like Carnival goes up crazy today. It's amazing. But there are these people that went on cruises I think are going to be way too nervous to go. Or maybe people are just going to be like, I'm going to roll the dice. I didn't want to live anyway. I don't know. There's probably a demographic of that too. But anyway, so I see a lot of trouble for not the major oil producers. Of course, we're going to need oil, but we're not going to need nearly as much for a while, and that leads to those crazy problems where they can't store it and everything else. Leisure products are probably going to go down. Let's talk about stocks that I listed. 13 minutes in, because they all had amazing days. If you sort by ceiling price, craziness. Tesla by this current price, I believe, is wrong because in futures they were up at like 900. It's insanity. Like let's look at everybody. Tesla, what did Walmart do today? -3.5. Good, go buy it. Oh, good, great. They're going down by accident. Don't let anybody think that Walmart isn't a juggernaut that's going up. Good, get it while it's cheap. I'm buying a share of Walmart, just one. I usually just buy one of every share for fun, like that I talk about in the video, just because it's nice to have them on the list, right? So buying one, absolutely great. You'll be so glad you got this under 125. There's no way this stock is under 125 by the end of May. Impossible. Definitely be over that. Probably close to 140. All right, Merck. Right. I said Merck because of what's going on with Pepsi. And it being one of 3 molecular possibilities that apparently doesn't have bad side effects. Oh my God, of course the stock's going to go up. Of course it is. How can it not? All right, what else we got? Abbott Labs had a better day, but we're still going to be testing like crazy. Absolutely. The way you know if you need Pepsid is by getting one of two tests probably. Then you'll have to get antibody Pepsid tests also to figure out how much Pepsid you have and whether or not you need more in your blood. Wendy's continues to crush it. You can see they're my fifth best pick because they have a drive-through, because they're open late. I almost got them for dinner night instead, actually. I went and I socially distanced, and I stood and ordered at a place. Asked them if I was like, open the door. I'm like, you guys want me to call in the order and then I'll just pick it up, or should I stand here? Like, what are the rules now? And got like Thai food, right, which has been good. Still eating it. But I almost went to Wendy's. Almost did because it was open and had a drive-through, and I need, like, do I want to get out? Like, I didn't have a mask on me. Like, it was a pain, right? Like, not having a mask is like breaking the law now, right? It's like walking around without your driver's license. Uh, anyway, so Wendy's has another good day, and just because I didn't go there today, actually, I had their target price, their high price at I believe 20. So now they're over it. So that's why I say don't buy them anymore. That's why I didn't go eat with them today. So keep that in mind. LYTS has another good day. We are all going to be social distancing with screens. Had the Thai place had a screen instead of a woman, a very nice woman with a mask, instead of that, she wouldn't have had to risk herself and wouldn't have had to accidentally got sick by a doofus like me with no mask on, right? If I'm spreading it. So they go up 6 cents because they're going to keep getting requests for screens because everybody should have one. Shouldn't we be dealing with screens when we're doing our interactions that don't need to be with people, that don't require a person? All right. Microsoft has a good day, 5%. Cool. Well, 8% of Tesla was traded today. It's because they got earnings tomorrow, I think. So yeah, Microsoft good, but it's at 177. And then Amazon, Alphabet, Google had a really good day too because they had good earnings. eBay isn't strong enough to be on this list actually, but it's okay. Enzo went down to $3 now. Watch out. Are they getting crowded out by another industry? Actually might even take them off the buy list. Let's do that. Because I got out of them because I wasn't sure yet. Emergent Biosolutions, I haven't looked into that too much. And then Netflix is up 2%. I thought they went down today. Oh well, I guess they survived. So what else? Or 20-minute video. Watch the fun with Merck. Watch the fun with Beyond Meat. Why don't I have Beyond Meat on here? I bought a share of Beyond Meat today. And I talked about it yesterday. I'm a man of my word. My target price was 100. The watch was 100 and the ceiling was 110. Because I think they do like 120, 125 when I want my note to be. Here's what I want my note to be. Wait till first story about meat contamination. I can't type. Well, all I'm saying is wait till you see a story about there being coronavirus in meat somewhere because so many people have it that are working with it apparently with touching. I don't know, like it's breathing for sure. And what about cows getting it? Cats can get it. I've seen cats hang out with cows before. They're friends, right? So isn't there going to be some of it in our meat cause digestive problems? Yeah. So what are you going to do? Oh, Beyond Meat is the meat alternative. It pretends to be meat. It tastes kind of like meat. It's made out of plants. It's going to be cheaper if meat goes up because we've got to close the plants because people get sick because you got circular firing range. You need to have a new way of creating meat, and Beyond Meat is sitting here waiting to get to have everybody try it because you're cooking all the time at home too. Here's the other thing: they need to get their distribution out into stores and mail order. Like I would love having a cooler showing up once a week at my door with chicken fake pork chops, big chicken, fake hot dogs for the kids. How can you give them a fake hot dog? It doesn't have the whole thing about like, oh, you don't know how that hot dog's made. If you saw how the hot dog was made, you'd throw up in your mouth right now. It's not like that. The this made up plant stuff, so it looks like a hot dog. Hand it over your kid. Kid doesn't know any different. Kid doesn't eat, pork nose or whatever's in the hot dogs. I don't know. Don't quote me on what's in hot dogs. I just know it isn't great. This has no place to go up, but up. It's proven safe, or people would have been sick from this. I've had it and not gotten sick. It kind of tastes like meat. I love it because whatever is going to surprise me in there, I'm like, well, a rabbit would surprise me out of this, but in a burger or something, you can get some bone, you can get some bad things that cause appendicitis. It gets stuck in you and everything. I think that the plant matter is probably better and dissolves because it's more oil and conglomerate based or whatever. I don't know. We're a heavily molecule based video today. Anyway, I think the market's going to be the most volatile thing. It's the only thing going on. There's no sports. So people like me that would normally be into sports have no choice but to play the market if you want to play anything from home during the day. That's why, as much as I thought the market was going to go down, yeah, some stocks are clearly going to lose, like your oils and your consumer discretionaries that we don't go to anymore, and leisure products, leisure places that we just don't go to anymore or something. I haven't figured out how entirely it's going to look yet, but the effects of social distancing for at least the next 3 months and in throughout the year as we figure out how to treat everybody, but it's still a dangerous thing. It's fascinating. And there's a fortune to be made here because it's kind of like there's an earthquake. It's kind of like you're trying to get to the tallest building and there's an earthquake going on in random places that's just taking the tallest buildings out. So you can't plan months ahead. You can't say, you can't say I'm going to the Kuala Lumpur Twin Tower things or whatever because there's huge earthquakes all over the place and everything's getting shaken, and so you never know what's standing. But places that are fine are all of a sudden becoming refuge, right? If you don't live over a tectonic plate, maybe you're positioned properly and you can convince people that you have a fortune to be made. It's pretty amazing. So that's my market update. We'll check in for Thursday tomorrow and see how it goes, see how Merck goes, see if you hear any more about Pepsi. I think you will. And we're out.